Hey everyone, welcome to All About the Joy. This is Culture and Consequence with Carmen and Andrea. Hey, what's up? How you doing, Ons?
I'm good.
Okay, cool. So what do you want to talk about? I'm going to leave it up to you. I mean, we have a list, but
We have a list. What's bothering me today?
okay, I'll tell you what's bothering me today.
Yeah, go for it.
I am tired of the nastiness. Like, I know you want to talk about like racism, but
Love to.
love to.
Love it.
No. But here's the thing. You know what? I'm just watching. What's this woman's name? It's both of them. It's Stephen Miller, the deputy. I didn't realize he was just the deputy chief of staff. I thought he was actually the chief of staff.
I believe he's actually the president.
True. He's also the let me see what he is, because he's an asshole, but he's also the Homeland Security Advisor. But for people who don't know, I mean, why would anyone know this? I live in Santa Monica, California. I've been here 30 years. I think he's in his 30s. He grew up in this neighborhood, okay? And he was here part of the time when I was here. He went to school here. I don't know him. Thank you, Lord. Jesus, thank you. But maybe if I had, I could have, I don't know, melted his heart or something. I have no idea.
I don't think so, girl.
But I am shooketh at why he turned out to be such an evil human being. I mean, he's angry and nasty and mean, and so
his family hates him.
I'm sorry, what?
So his family hates him?
His family does. Oh, I actually have a quote from his cousin, Alyssa Kazmar, publicly disowned him in 2025, calling him the face of evil due to his role in shaping the Trump administration's immigration policies. And her quote is, "I am living with the deep pain of watching someone I once loved become the face of evil. I will never knowingly let evil into my life, no matter whose blood it carries, including my own." I mean, and she goes on, but his other family members have really, a lot of them have like not said anything, like, which I think is also telling, you know what I mean? But I literally the other day walked around where he went to school, walked around where I think he possibly lived, like all these areas. I'm like, why? I think he got his ass kicked by some Latino kids. I do. I think he was bullied or something by some. I'm not blaming it on Latino kids. It's not what I mean.
It's your fault, Latino kids.
You reap what you sow. No. But he must have been bullied or something, because he is weird.
Yeah, I mean, like, I really am hesitant to go in the direction of, like, some people are just born evil.
Yeah, me too.
But I do think there may be, like, a slight predisposition, and if, facts on the ground, I guess,
right,
after you're born, feed into that. I don't know what his actual, like, family situation was, what his parents are like, or any of those kinds of things, but it does kind of point to maybe he was bullied in some way. Maybe he liked a girl who decided to go out with a hot Latin dude. I don't know.
It really, because his family, he has a Jewish background, which is the other part of this, like the vitriol he has towards other people after you know your own history. I mean, I know, I'm just shooketh by.
I also, as I am hesitant to think that people are like born evil, sort of. I do also think that a lot of the hate and the vitriol comes from some, this is so like psychological,
trauma.
Well, no, like deep self-hatred. Like there's something that you just can't deal with when you look in the mirror. No offense. Little
clearly I have none of that.
I just mean, like, I don't even mean like your attractiveness, but like there's something deep within you that you desperately don't like, and so you put it out into the world, you know what I mean?
I feel like he needs a hug.
Oh, no. He needs a hard slap. That's what he needs.
There is the difference between me and Andrea. If you want to know,
Yeah,
I'm willing to give him a slap.
Right,
I'm willing to give him a hug. See, you already have turned to me. I'm like, yes, a slap. No, we are not for violence ever. I'm not. I do not speak on behalf of Andrea. So this came up because then Pam Bondi, who I'm like, whoa, she's the United States Attorney General, and she was in front of Congress this week. And I don't care whether you agree with her or not. And clearly I don't agree with her at all because I'm not a fan. Her nastiness, like again, like this vitriol, this inability to have conversations, this inability, even if you don't want to answer questions, which she was not answering any questions whatsoever. She was just like totally, whataboutism seems to be her thing. Somebody would ask her, is the sky blue? And she'd be like, I can't believe you would ask me a question after what you did at a rodeo 5 years ago. I mean, it was just random shit. It was random. And I was like, all this vitriol, all this angst. I mean, this is what I think is even more profound in our politics today, right? This inability to just have conversations.
Well, and it's like, not to use like a network television word, but like, it's just so performative. You know what I mean? They're doing it.
Yes.
So that Trump can see it and be like, yeah, you're fighting, give him hell. And, like that's his vibe. Sorry.
That's okay. Dogs are allowed. That's okay. We just have to let people know that that's not like me putting in a sound.
That is probably a leaf blowing by that my dog didn't like.
Yeah, and the vitriol and the barking, I could hear it.
He's like, yes, damn it.
Go ahead. You were saying.
No, I was just saying, like, it's primarily, I believe, I think it serves a couple of purposes. Number one, first and foremost, Trump wants to see fighters and he wants to see people who are tough and all of that because he's not. And, they're actually not. So they want to sort of perform toughness.
And they don't want to release the Epstein files. But sorry.
Yes, that as well. And then it also, I think, riles up a certain contingent of their base who are predisposed to like want to be that way. Like we sort of, like it's sort of a joke, like, Carmen's a hugger, I'm a slapper, but like I'm not necessarily like, I think there are people who respond to that they are trying to get to. Specifically,
Right. I totally get that. And I agree with you. I do think it's performative. I guess I just feel sad because like that, it was so not productive. And yet what was great was to watch her. For me, like I watched her and I was like, this is exactly what people need to see. They need to see another person in that perfect blonde, white woman. You know what I mean? Like exactly the package that we think is the perfect American or whatever, the other side thinks or whatever. And see that kind of vitriol and that anger or whatever and see how performative that is the perfect. Because I don't even think the same conservatives and Republicans were okay with all that. You know what I mean? Like it just seemed to, I think, flop badly because everybody saw what she was doing. Everybody understood what she was doing. She was just, performing for one person and not answering any questions whatsoever. And throwing Kash Patel under the bus, which was great as far as I'm concerned. Could care less about him too. So that was unbelievable. But yeah, I'm just tired of the nastiness. So anyways.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's, as you pointed out, like the larger problem. How do we come back from this? I mean, there's like all of these hurdles that we have to get over in order to have any kind of new normal, let's call it, that's looks better for most people. But it like, it breeds more hate, right? It's like she does thing like that, and then everyone's like, all of these people need to go to the Hague. Every single one of them need to be in jail. It's like I don't necessarily disagree, really, truly, but like where does it end? Right? You just keep like one-upping like this and then this and then this. Like it's just like violence and nastiness and then more violence and nastiness, and like there's how do you equalize it so that we can actually have conversations again?
Right. And I know you're not going to like me saying this, but I mean, it goes back to the Charlie Kirk thing as well. Like, no matter how you feel about Charlie Kirk, he did not deserve to be killed, to be assassinated. And, you know, we can kid around.
I have a problem with the word assassinated, but go ahead.
Okay. Okay. All right. Killed?
Yes. Killed is fine.
Okay, whatever. Okay. I'm just saying that's where we end up going when we have all this vitriol, when we can't have actual competent people. And I am going to say it that way because watching these people spew from a place of such anger and hate, like I may swear every once in a while, but it's not coming from a place of hate. You know what I mean? I guess not coming from a place where I want to do something bad to you. I want you to understand my point of view, but I would never intentionally hurt somebody, you know? And she was just going after, like, and the lies. I mean, what was great was all the senators were ready for it, right? So she would say, you did A, B, C, and D, and you took money from A, B, C, and D, and straight up like, yeah, so that doesn't answer the question. The question again is, and I was like, oh, see, I wouldn't have been able to hold back. I would have been like, that ain't true. That is not what happened. He did not sponsor me. Like I would have reacted that way, but they were all so prepared and didn't fall for it, which made her look even worse, you know, but.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's like violence is where you go when you have nothing left, right? When you can't have a conversation, when you can't actually sort of prove your point or say your piece and agree to disagree, or, you know, whatever it is, it ratchets up until you get to violence, which is, you know, that's my worry. I mean, we're already there in many instances, but you know, that is my worry, is like, eventually we will need to pull back from this. And like, how do you do that? You know, and there are other societies and other countries have done it, but it's a long process.
It's a long process, especially when you have a leader who gets excited by it. So, I mean, it always comes from the top, right? But when you have somebody who's, you know, I'm sorry for those of you who don't understand the bullshittery in that Portland is on fire and at war and like, okay.
I'm convinced they're just putting pictures in front of his face of like, you know.
Okay, let's pretend Los Angeles is a hellfire where I live, by the way, and travel to and around all the time during that huge riot thing that was happening here. It was not happening. Let's pretend it was. How does a president normally handle something like that? They would go to the governor of the state and ask the governor, or the governor would call the president and say, we're in trouble. We need X, Y, Z. It is not, that's how you know it's all bullshit, because the governors are saying, absolutely not, do not do this. Now, he was able to do it in Washington because Washington, D.C. does not have the same representation that we do in other states. And if you don't understand, Washington is a district. It's District of Columbia. And I'll put down at the bottom why you should Google it. But that's why he was able to do what he did and continues to have military force in Washington, D.C. and all the violence, you know?
Yeah.
I am tired of Trump. I am tired of, I know, but I'm just tired.
We're only like not even 10 months in.
Like, I know, but it's every day. Don't you feel like that?
This honestly, like, there are so many reasons why he should not have been elected, but just the sheer exhaustion of having to deal with this. Like, isn't everybody tired of this bullshit? Every day it's some new bullshit. Think of all of the days when Biden was president that you didn't even hear his name.
Or
Didn't
Barack
even think
Obama.
about him at all. Yeah,
Or George
anybody.
Bush.
George
Any
Bush.
other president.
Right. We weren't always like in your face with some kind of bullshit. And that's like, he needs that. He thrives off of that. I swear to God, it gives him some kind of superhuman energy. That's why he's still alive, because he thrives off of this crazy drama.
But I said this the other day. I think, Trump wants so badly something he's never going to have, which is respect.
Yeah.
He wants it so badly. He wants somehow to, he wants the Nobel Peace Prize, which is great. Knock yourself out. But he wants it so badly because Obama has one, right? People who usually get the Nobel Peace Prize aren't looking for it. You know what I mean? It's like,
right.
Tell me you love me. Like, forcing you to tell me that you love me is a very different thing when someone just says that they love you. You know what I mean? And I feel like for whatever reason, Trump can't figure out how to get what he really wants. Like he says now he hates all of Hollywood because he knows Hollywood has rejected him. But he's always wanted to be part of the Hollywood thingamajiggy, right? With the cool kids and hanging out or whatever. But he doesn't get that. He gets it from all the B artists, right? Because they're also not in with the Hollywood crowd. And it's like, I know you're going to laugh at me, but I feel bad for him. I feel bad for him because he's almost 80 years old, right? Isn't he in his 70s?
He's like 79, yeah.
And he's still craving something, and he's still incredibly jealous, incredibly hateful. He still hasn't come to a place in his life where he's like, you know what? I'm a man and I am going to be this kind of person, whatever. He's still running after shit that all of us were running after when we were like 11 and 13.
I literally was just going to say, he's like a 11-year-old, like a 12-year-old. I mean, he just never actually matured into a normal human being. And I don't feel sorry for him, not one single bit. And I said this last time, like, we all have our shit. We all have some kind of something that happened to us when we were growing up where we didn't get something that we feel like we needed, or that we did need for that matter. Right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I don't know about most of us, but a lot of us went through the process of facing that, understanding that, dealing with it, and becoming mature, functioning adults.
I know, but you're forgetting something that's really important. And I'm not making excuses for him. But if we're going to get all psychological, and neither one of us are PhDs in this is just like normal understanding of human beings, okay? And my experience and your experience, like this is basic shit. Money. When you have money and you grow up with money, parents who are not good parents, I'm just going to say it straight up, will turn around and try to save you from every consequence and ramification of behaviors that you are doing.
Yeah.
And I, not being a parent, can easily see this sometimes with some of my friends, not anybody in the room included, but right, because you want to protect your children, and sometimes you need to let your kids fall so that they can learn the lesson. Donald Trump has never had to learn his lesson, never, not once. And he has built a life based on lie after lie after lie. And he got really good at using his name and his money and his prestige to get away with everything. Everything. Look at anything he's gone through. He continues to get away with it all the time. Even the Epstein files, and I'm not even trying to be funny right now. He now has a devout Christian House Speaker not bringing someone into Congress who won their Congress seat, right, in Arizona, because he's afraid. Well, she would be the 216th signature to release the Epstein files. It's not even to release them, by the way. It's to have the conversation, right? Or whatever it is. But it's the next step. So House Speaker, what's his name? Johnson, I think, right? Johnson, who is a devout, quote unquote, Christian, though I question that with every single day. Right?
It's a slur, frankly, at this point.
It's a slur. That's actually true. He will, and people keep confronting him and asking him questions, and he's just lying about it. He's like, no, it's not that we don't want her to get into Congress, blah, blah, blah. It's because we like the other day he said, I want it to be a ceremony for her. I want her to be able to have her family. And so the person was like, so if she brings her family, will you then?
Yeah.
The lies. And so here is Trump again, getting away with the Epstein files not being released, and he has other people doing his bidding. And honestly, why? When are you sacrificing your soul for money, for fame, for power, to keep this bullshittery going on? Like, what is in the Epstein files that he's so afraid? By the way, none of us gonna be surprised about nothing that's in them damn Epstein. I don't know what he's so afraid of.
Honest to God, it would be like ho hum, like
he's already done more than enough. I don't understand what could possibly be in there that he's so afraid of. But it's not just him; it's all of his rich friends. That's the problem.
Well, yeah, I think that's more the issue is the other people that are in it who have money and
right.
Fund it and fund him.
And I asked AI, and it was like, it could have global ramifications. I'm like, what the heck? Bitch, please. I was like, what? So I don't know. I honestly, they're going to come out. It may not be today or tomorrow, but that shit's going to come out. It's going to come out. Yeah. So I feel bad for Trump. I know you don't, but okay, whatever. All right. We were going to talk about, well, wait, did you want to say something else?
No.
Yeah. All right. We were going to talk about ICE agents. I don't even know if I have the energy for this. I don't know if I do. It's the same shit. This anger and angst and vitriol. But you know what I found out? I did do some research on this. So let me just say this part. So I lived in Beverly Hills for a small amount of time, worst experience of my life. But I think I lived there for like 2 years or something. And my next door neighbor is a guy named Levi, and we became good friends. He could be my son, and I'd be so proud if he was. But he had come to Los Angeles. He's from Texas, and he was going through the process of becoming a fireman. And so I got to know him because we would go to lunch every once in a while, and he would tell me what he's going through. And so firemen go through a much more rigorous, longer process to become firemen than police officers do. So I'm going to just tell you that to become a firefighter in Los Angeles, okay? There's a lot of requirements, but one of the first ones that's really important is you have to have an EMT license and be a CPAT person, which is candidate physical ability test. So you have to pass that before you can even apply. Cops don't have that at all. So the rest of it is pretty thorough, whatever. But basically, the estimated time frame to become a Los Angeles Fire Department person is 12 to 18 months. And in order to become a police officer carrying a gun, it's 6 to 9 months. Okay, so that's just to start there. Now, an ICE agent, let me just find, I have all my 15 pieces of paper here. Let me just see.
I was going to do research and then I just couldn't.
But you don't have to. It's okay.
You don't have to.
It's not about research. Let me just see where my ICE agent shit is. I mean, I love ICE agents. He's so amazing and great. Don't come after me, bitch, because I'm Latina and brown skin. Okay, requirements to become an ICE agent. You have to be a U.S. citizen. Duh. Okay, valid driver's license, eligible to carry a firearm, under 37 years old. And here's why I question this. You have to have a bachelor's degree with one of the following. I know, wait. You can have, wait. Preferred background, criminal justice or law enforcement experience. Bullshit. Military service or prior federal employment preferred. You have to do drug screening, medical exam, physical fitness, background investigations could take up to 3 months. That's all lies. It's not lies. I'm going to explain why. And then training duties. You have to, you get paid training for 22 weeks. Okay. So it sounds like ICE agents get a lot of, right? They get maybe even more than LAPD. But here's the difference, which is something I learned in my research because I questioned this. And I was like, there is no way. The same way Andrea was like, yeah, they don't got no bachelor's degree, these mofos. The difference is ERO agents are enforcement and removal operation agents. And they are hired with high school diplomas or equivalent, and everything else is bypassed. Those are the people that are on the street. Those are the people who are on the street. That's why you see them clumsily hurting people and doing all this shit, because they have no idea what the fuck they're doing.
Right.
Surprise, surprise. So
Right.
There are ICE agents from back in the day, normal times. And then there are ERO agents, which is what we're seeing on the streets of our cities.
I don't know what I actually should say.
Well, I was more curious because our last episode, you talked about you have issues with cops, and we did get someone who asked why you would have, wait. They understood why I would have issues with cops, but why would you, white woman Andrea, have issues with cops? So that's kind of where this is coming from.
It's a personal experience thing. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. I don't want to get into like a whole autobiographical thing, but you know, from the time I was quite young, my interactions with police were, I would say, overwhelmingly negative. Not that I had a lot of bad interactions, but you know, you live in a working class neighborhood, pretty diverse in terms of the racial mix, and you see things and you experience things. And I think I said somewhere on the show in one of the previous episodes, I grew up in a Mexican family, meaning like, you know, they're like Mexican American, but like the people that I spent time with in my family were Mexican people. I was the odd person out. Right? I'm the one who looks different than the whole rest of literally my entire family, pretty much.
You really do. Even your brother looks more Mexicano than you could ever.
And so I could see the difference just in treatment. And, you know, I'm a very, like, you know, observant person and all of those things. But, like, I'll tell you just a little story, brief little autobiographical story to give you a sense.
Okay, you don't have to, but we're
well, just to like. So I grew up in the 70s, right? 70s kid, right? We were all like feral little kids. One day, my two cousins and my brother were all the same age. We're out doing what kids do in the summer, right? We're like walking around on a canal, literally.
Not hanging out with gang members, like
literally just the four of us, like, you know, I don't know why we were out there. I was very young. I was literally like 5-6 years old, no joke, because I was like kindergarten to first grade. And these older kids who were probably like junior high just came and started messing with us, right? And this is the kind of stuff that happened back in the day. Like you were just out and there were like different people who would mess with you. We didn't know who they were, whatever. And so they were like messing with us. And one of the boys grabbed me by my shirt and kissed me, like stuck his tongue down my throat, this big, wet, nasty, slobbery kiss, whatever. I pushed him off of me. I ran home, you know, call my mom, tell my mom. And meanwhile, you know, you probably remember like being out and being kind of a little feral kid, like you're probably doing stuff and going places you're not really supposed to go. Like, so it's like
typical 70s kid. Yep.
Do I tell my mom that we were out on the canal? Because we're not supposed to be out on the canal, whatever. Anyway, I did. She calls the cops. The cops come to our house.
Oh no.
Which is, you know, whatever. The cops come to our house. Again, I'm truly like kindergarten, first grade. Cops come to our house. I can't remember what he asked me or anything like that. I remember like all the sounds of all of his equipment. I remember where he sat and everything. And I remember very distinctly at some point during the conversation thinking, he thinks this is my fault. Like, I'm going to get in trouble. Or like my mom's going to get in trouble. Because we were out there. Why were we there? What were we doing? Why wasn't someone watching us? Like all like that whole vibe, right? And let me just say, this little white girl experience is absolutely nothing compared to the experience that a lot of other kids have with the police. But what it distinctly left me with is truly like an imprint of don't go to the cops. They're not going to help you. They might blame you. You might get in trouble. So that was like my first interaction that I can remember with the police. And I have truly since then, and I have had a fair amount of interactions with the police because I'm, I got pulled over a lot in my teens and 20s. I have never had an interaction with the cops or seen an interaction with the cops that proved me different.
Wow. So. Wow. That's fascinating. Yeah.
So
I think that kind of explains it too. And actually it's kind of in a way refreshing. I mean, I'm sorry you had that experience because here's the thing too. I actually want to believe, I can't say I really believe this, but in my heart, I want to believe that people who become or want to be police officers go into it for the right reasons. And then sometimes I think, well, like I wish all police officers had to go to college first. And I'm not trying to say college is the thing. I'm not saying you have to be a 4-degree, but I feel like that's part of the problem is like there's not enough maturity to be able to deal with de-escalation, dealing with kind of other issues that I think you learn. And if you're just like 18, 19 years old and you're given a gun and all this power and authority, after, 6 months of training, I feel like that's part of the problem.
100%. I mean, look, in my socialist utopia, we do abolish the police. And what I mean by that is I don't mean no law enforcement. I'm saying law enforcement as it exists in the United States today needs to be completely deconstructed and rebuilt. And there needs to be extensive, intensive, I would say years-long training before you are given a weapon and put out on the streets. While I'm at it, end qualified immunity. People need to have personal liability for for wrongdoing, doing harm to people. Right? I saw something months ago. I remember on social media, someone said, instead of having the cities or the municipalities pay for the lawsuits, take it out of their pensions.
Yeah.
Right? Like
that would change things right away.
Create some actual self-policing, right? If your wrongdoing is coming out of my pension, I'm probably not going to stand by and let you
watch you hurt people.
Kick someone in the face while you arrest them. You know what I mean? Like it just needs to be rethought. And again, like I said, it's my socialist utopia. Obviously, it's never going to happen, but it needs to look and be completely different than it does today for it to actually be a net good.
Right. I think one of the reasons why, unfortunately, people go into the police department is because it's easier, right? And it's, you have this ability to make money. It's not a lot of money at the beginning, but you can make a good living as a cop eventually. And then you have all of these protections. And if you have even an ounce, which you kind of sort of have to, of power frenzy or kind of this weird control thing, or you like guns, it's such a bad place for you to be, but, I don't know if I agree with you 100%, surprise, but I do think it needs to be reimagined for sure. And my whole thing is like, I don't want people who are 18, 19 years old going to the police academy. I just don't. I want you to have to go do something for 4 years and become an actual adult who understands people. And it doesn't have to be college, it have to be something, And the thing about firemen, not only do they want to help people, because let's say that's what police want to do too, but firemen actually are putting themselves on the line in order to learn to help people without a gun. And it's about teamwork, and it's about trying to understand how to fix a situation. But cops are not being told that. They're not being taught that.
Yeah, I do want to say, I believe you actually have to be 21 to be a police officer with LAPD. I could be wrong, but I know
you could be right. Let me just see here. You're absolutely
right. They
do
a lot of recruitment and training in the high schools. So they get people sort of prepped and ready to go, but I think you have to be 21.
No, you do. Firefighter, my apologies, you were right. To be a Los Angeles Fire Department, the minimum age to start is 18. Police officer, LAPD, 21 at time of hire. So I don't know if that means you can start training before, but that's what you're talking about. They go into the schools and stuff like that, right? Yeah. So I still need them to do 4 years or something. I don't know.
And, again, not that anyone believes in science anymore, but my understanding is that men in particular do not even have fully formed brains at that age.
Okay, we're gonna lose. I think all men are beautiful, and you have fine ass brains. 'Cause I'm gonna lose.
Neither do a lot of women. People's brains are not fully formed until they're in their mid-20s. Like, calm down.
I just wanted you to correct that. Come on, you're just like men suck. Yeah, I'm just kidding. I'm
just
messing
saying.
with you. I'm messing with you. Okay.
They mature at a slower rate, and actually, like physically, physiologically, their brains are not fully formed.
So what age would you prefer? I would like to see cops in their 30s. Yes. Seriously, start the process. Old ass cops.
Like, imagine you have like a ton of money and you have like a trust fund. Like, at what age do you want your child to be able to have access to that money and be responsible with it, right? At what age do we want these people to have a gun and be out on the streets and be responsible with it? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. But I do think something that's really interesting is I really am kind of over the cops being these buddy people who never say a bad thing about somebody who's like killed someone. You know what I mean? Like, and just the constant inability for them to be individuals, because then you have to hear, not all cops. No, I'm sorry.
Oh, you mean when someone else on the police?
When somebody, I'm sorry. Yeah. When somebody else hurts somebody and they don't get angry about it. And even the cops that do, like, and they'll do like social media posts or whatever, all of a sudden their TikToks are gone.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we talked about this before. It's dangerous. You can't do that.
Yeah.
You know, these are like, okay, everyone's gonna like, these are publicly funded gangs. Like, they just are. They truly are, especially LA sheriffs, people. Like, you can Google that shit. It's definitely a public funded gang. I don't care. But they are.
Like, I'm trying to hold back.
It's a brotherhood. We have to stick together. You can't say just, that's what gangs do. That's what gangs do.
I'm mad because you're putting a bad name on gangs. No, I'm just kidding. Why are you doing that? I grew up in the hood, man. Like, you know what's so weird? In actual gangs, you do something wrong, your ass is kicked out of the gang after it being actually kicked and beaten up. You know what I mean? And
there is actual self-policing.
They're very self-policing. This is a bad episode. I'm gonna have to cut all that out. We're advocating for gangs against police officers. I'm not. I've never thought of it. I will tell you this, I've never thought of it that way, Andrea. Never.
Yeah. Well, I have. And it's actually like, maybe not the entire departments, maybe, but it's a known fact in this area, and many, like, there are actual gangs in LA Sheriff's Department. It's known. We know this.
I don't know
tattoos. They have tattoos, and they like.
But that doesn't mean that that the LAPD are gang affiliate. It just means that maybe former gang members have decided to become cops.
That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying,
what are you saying?
Function like a gang.
No, I know what you're saying. I just want, so you're not, okay. So you're saying that the police officers in the LAPD have a gang of their own and they have tattoos of their own. You're not talking about gang members.
Yeah, that's Sheriff's Department. Not LAPD, but probably, but it's LASD.
Okay. Yeah.
Los Angeles.
I don't want no gang members from Los Angeles coming after my ass.
No, this is like,
I'm not afraid of the LAPD.
Department, they have gangs that they have created within the department.
I have heard that, but yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I will say this, just to give it I'm not going to say I don't hate all cops, but I had a really bad situation that happened recently where I had a kind of sort of stalker. We've talked about this, where I got a weird letter at work. Somebody talking very specifically about my Honda. I told you about this, right? Did you not know about this?
No.
Yes, you do. Are you serious? I talked about it on the show. Oh my! How did I not tell you? Well, because we don't usually talk anymore. See, we don't have the time.
I know.
Okay, so about 4 or 5 months ago, I got a letter at work, and the letter was very specific about when I come to work, when I leave. It was a poem about my Honda and the goldenness of it, and it was really weird, but it was also, and it was creepy. And in the letter, it said, "This is not creepy," which is the sign.
Right. You're like, oh, okay, never mind then.
I was like, oh, I'm glad you said that. And here's the thing, they didn't sign it. They didn't sign their name.
Right.
But they knew where I parked. And so I parked on the street, I parked in the parking lot, but they knew all that. And it was in this weird poem. I'll send you a copy of it. It was so freaking weird.
Holy fucking shit.
So I, being someone as a young kid who was stalked when I was a performer, it really brought up some weird feelings. And I was so confused by the whole thing. Like, is this just charming? Is this just what I'm, you know what I mean? I don't know. I was trying to, am I overreacting? But it didn't matter. It was keeping me up at night. It was freaking me out. And then I thought I had tags on my car. I mean, I was, right? Because you could put a
like
tag
air
on
tags?
Yeah, like air tags. I was freaking out. So I actually went to the Santa Monica Police Department, which is part of the LAPD, but it's the Santa Monica, whatever. And they were wonderful. They were wonderful. They were lovely and kind and helpful and calmed me down and showed me how to check for my car. And, you know, they also said, they explained to me that there's nothing illegal, that like somebody could send you flowers, not illegal. Somebody could, you know, they're like, they know it's uncomfortable for you, but it's not, they haven't done anything. There's nothing in here that says it's violent or whatever. They're just an admirer. And one of the officers said, you know, back in the day, this would have been thought of as charming. He's like, but in this day and age with social media and with, you know, they shouldn't have done this, you know? So they then reached out to the LAPD to make sure that, because where it happened was in a different area than where I live. And so, and I felt all of a sudden very protected. But I will say, for the first time in my life when it comes to police officers, he gave me his card. They were like, you know, try not to worry about it. It's going to be fine, blah, blah, blah. And so I think about it in that sense. Like, I do want law enforcement, but what I want is good law enforcement. I want good cops like these cops who are trying to help the public good, you know? And I want to believe that most cops are like that. Unfortunately, I don't see that. Like, my heart wants to believe it, but I don't see that as evident all the time in all the things we always hear about, you know?
Yeah, well, and to your point, right? It's it would be fantastic and amazing and really affirming to have these good cops come out like en masse against some of the, you know, really disgusting and horrific and illegal things that their colleagues are doing, but they're either not allowed or very strongly discouraged or even threatened to not do that. And that's what perpetuates this perception. And
it would have been cleaned up so much quicker if the first time somebody had done something wrong on the force, that all of them were like, that was wrong. We don't believe in that. And they would have been dismissed out of the force. And there you go. We would, you know, you would learn the lesson. But what ends up happening is you learn you can get away with whatever you want. And so people do whatever they want to do. So, yeah. Well, that was an interesting conversation, my dear friend. And you know what? I think it's okay. Sometimes I'm afraid because we get so personal, but I think it's all right.
Look, I'm just a, you know, white lady spouting off her shit.
I thought you would say, I'm just a girl looking for a boy.
Looking for a good cop.
Just looking for a good cop. Yeah, good people in government. Yeah, just to bring it full. I'm just looking to, you know what I'm looking forward to someday, and I think this will happen. We will get back to a time, my prayer is, that we can live our lives and not have to hear everything about what's happening in politics every single day. Yeah.
That would be ideal. Yes.
So, crossing our fingers. Anyway, everyone, thank you so much for listening and hanging out with us. Please consider following us on YouTube and on Substack. We really appreciate you. And remember, at the end of the day, it really is all about the joy. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Adios.
Thanks for stopping by All About the Joy. Be better and stay beautiful, folks. Have a sweet day.